Listen up, guys. We're making burger bombs. Boom, you're gonna love it. Hi, I'm Cathy Neptune and welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to share tips, tools, and recipes to make time in the kitchen fun, fast, and fabulous. So listen up, guys. We're making burger bombs. Boom, you're going to love it. It's fun, it's dramatic, it's easy. And we're going to start out with a pound of ground beef and a regular Italian sausage. Now, I use turkey sausage, and this is for flavor and for moisture. And there's about 1.25 pounds of beef. And I use the 93% lean. So the sausage that you add, either the turkey or pork, is going to add a lot of moisture to it, as well as the other ingredients that we're going to add in. And to get it started, I have about 2/3 cup of dried breadcrumbs that I've run through the food processor, and about 1/3 cup of milk. And this also adds moisture. And I'm just going to blend that in a little bit and set it aside. And we're going to blend these into our meatloaf mixture. And we may not use them all, we'll see. But that's going to help incorporate that. And I just use regular, I think I had a mixture of Italian bread and sandwich bread. You could use whole wheat, whatever you want. And that's pretty much, you can see it's soaked in. And then I'm going to add to that 1 large egg. And I like my eggs, I take it out about an hour before room temperature. So I find whether you're baking or cooking, they blend. See how nicely they blend in if they're room temperature. But just an hour or so, leave them on your counter. And so that's going to go in, and again, we may not use all of it, and we'll kind of play that as we go along. And then into the bowl, I'm going to take our ground beef mixture and our sausage, put that right into a bowl, and I'm just going to take our spoon and blend that in, and you want to break up the sausage. I'm going to pull that, and this had a casing on it, so I'm going to take the casing. I took the casing off already. And it's one regular size. If they're smaller, you can do like 2 sausage sizes. And then we want to not over mix, but I want to break up the sausage and get it throughout. And that has, of course, the Italian seasonings. And then I want to measure out very carefully a teaspoon of salt, because there's a lot of burger meat in there. A little bit of pepper. And this is so fun to do. You can do a lot of different flavors in this. You could do all chicken, ground chicken or ground turkey, and do an Alfredo for the center. And you'll see that in a minute, what we're going to do. And now I think we can add a little bit at a time. This is our breadcrumb and egg mixture and milk. And always make sure that you season your meat mixtures really well, because this is going to be a one-dish meal, and you want to get every bite that has flavor. And you can do your own seasoning. You could do a Mediterranean style with some Greek oregano, and some lemon thyme would be great. And I'll give you some filling ideas as we go along. I think a little bit more. You can see, you want to be able to see it in there. And like I said, there's a lot of meat. So let's add, we might even use it all. Just put that in so that we're using the whole amount. And you can certainly do this ahead of time. And I'm going to do this. Remember my grandson, Aiden, I'm going to go over tomorrow. And I'm going to have him make this, because I think he'd love it. Who doesn't love burger and pasta all mixed in? And you'll see how we're going to do that. So I have my oven preheating at 400. And I have my cast iron skillet, which is perfect. And we're going to take about this much of the mixture, and we're going to use that, you'll see in a minute, for the top. I'm going to spread that over the top. And I'm going to set that aside for a minute. And I have a bowl, and you can kind of eyeball what size bowl you want. And I've lined it with plastic wrap. I'm going to take the burger mix and just put it all in there and a little bit off to the side. And we're going to form this into a ball. I think we need a little more for the top there. And depending on how big you want to make it, we're just going to form this. You can see how I'm doing this. Just taking a large size spoon. And the key here is you don't have to be over fussy, but because you've added the egg and breadcrumbs, it's very soft and pliable. So we're going to form this into an inside-out dome and kind of making a meatball, if you will. And you don't want any holes on the side for any of the filling to leak out, because we're going to fill this, and wait until you see what we put in here. Like I said, if you're not playing with your food, you're missing out. So this is a great way to make something really easy, dramatic, and delicious. So see how I've just taken this and formed. You can run the spoon around, and notice the thickness of the edges here. You want a good amount to keep all that filling in. And pat it down, and that's our little bowl. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Now we're going to fill it up. And I have a sauce, and I have some spaghetti, some pasta. And you can do the pasta of your choice. Now, I kind of want to take just a little bit of this sauce, and we're going to use this again. But just to coat, you want a nice, moist filling inside your pasta, but you don't want it overly sauced so that it leaks out the side. So you want to still, you can see how lightly sauced, but enough of it so you can taste the sauce. And this is going to go in the middle. And we're going to serve sauce on the side. So trust me, there's going to be a lot of sauce in this. And taking, again, our meat mixture, just a final look and see. And I'm going to take some mixed cheese. There's grated Parmesan, a little bit of American, and just like maybe 2 tablespoons of that. And then if you want to get fancy, you can kind of roll this like so. And you can use noodles if you want, but I think the long spaghetti is so dramatic. And you don't need a lot. And make more pasta if you want a nice side dish. You know, a little more on the side. You can certainly do that. And I have my tomato sauce is so good. It's got chunks of tomato in it. But you can use a jarred sauce or tomato filling. And then a little more cheese. Nothing wrong with that. And then this is our meat mixture, and I'm just going to form it into a little patty. Nothing too fancy. And we're just going to flip it over on top of our burger bomb. And just, you can see how soft the meat filling is, so it just kind of adheres to all the edges. And just kind of run it around the side like so. Pat it down so there's no air bubbles. You don't want it to expand too much, and this helps to press out the air. So we'll do that, and here we go for the drama part. I have my skillet, and I love my cast iron. You know I love my cast iron skillet. You can put it right over the top like this, but this is pretty secure. Press it down, lift it up, and that is your burger bomb. How fun, how easy, how gorgeous. And we're going to put this in the 400-degree oven for about, we'll check it after 30 minutes. But remember, your hamburger shell, if you will, isn't that thick. So it's going to cook evenly. We're going to take it out after 30 minutes, put a little more sauce on it, and then some cheese, and just put the finishing touch. It's spectacular. Now, here's a little hint. If you'd like for a little more color, if this was a special dinner or just to make it look fancy, you could put cherry tomatoes all around, and those would roast beautifully in the pan with a little olive oil and seasoning. Spectacular. So I'm going to put this in the oven, and when we come back, we're going to make something fun. I'm going to show you a few little secrets and tips to making some awesome garlic cheese bread. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. I just wanted to remind you of something additional that I did before I put the burger bomb in the oven. I brushed it with a little bit of olive oil, and that's to help the browning situation and help it get nice and crispy, because we're cooking it at 400, so that should be a nice infusion of brown crust on the outside. You could choose to leave it out. And I didn't put any oil on the bottom of the cast iron because my cast iron is really seasoned well. And remember, after you wash it, your cast iron, you don't use soap and water. I just rinse it out. Everything comes right off, and then it's not oily. And then instead of drying it, I put it on top of the stove just for about, put your timer on for about a minute till all the moisture burns off of it. And your pan is seasoned. If it ever starts to stick, which it shouldn't, just while the pan is warm, you can just brush a little bit of plain vegetable oil on it, and it'll be seasoned again. But never ever use soap on it. And for my tomato sauce, you can buy a store-bought jarred spaghetti or pasta sauce. I tend to like the texture of a chunky canned tomatoes. And I season those myself with garlic because I like lots of garlic and Italian herbs and salt and pepper. And then I blend it a little bit, not into a puree form, excuse me, but just so that it's a nice consistency. So that's kind of my basic pasta sauce, but you feel free to use whatever you'd like, and send me your suggestions too, because everybody has different preferences. So that's the backstory. And I preheated my oven at 400, and I have the timer on for 30 minutes for our burger bomb. And we're going to take it out and put a little finishing touch on it and put it back for 10 minutes. So while that's going, I'm going to make some garlic bread for you. And maybe a way you haven't seen it done. And I like to give you tips and ideas. And I'm going to take two of the same size dowel handles, like so. And I'm going to take a very good bread knife, and I'm going to slice right down to the ends, right to these handles. And that keeps you from cutting all the way through the bread. This is a great technique too when you do like potato slices, and you want to do like Hasselback potatoes or any vegetable you don't want to cut all the way through. It's kind of like a handy little way. It's a hack, it's a hack. So we slice that all the way through, like so. So we've sliced all the way through, and we're just going to remove those. Those are a great hack, and be sure to use it, even cucumbers. If you want to fan out your cucumbers, it prevents a lot of disasters along the way. And then, now if your bread is a little drier, you can put it in the microwave, but I like to do this. Put that across the glass top and spread it out. Open them up so they're all even. And I have some melted butter with a ton of garlic, because you know me and the garlic. And we're going to do half butter. It's probably a tablespoon of butter and about a good tablespoon of a really good olive oil. And can't go wrong with that. And I like the butter because it gives it a nice richness and flavor. And then your favorite Italian seasoning, about half a teaspoon, or as much or as little as you want. And you could do a Tuscan style or a San Marzano sun-dried tomato, anything for flavor. And then this is oregano, basil, and tomato. So why not use it? So we're going to do that. And then take a brush, move this over, and just kind of brush it in between each little slice. Get it in there, and we're going to wrap this in foil and put this in the oven. I'm going to turn this around so you can see how nicely, evenly sliced these are. And because we're going to wrap it in foil and bake it, it shouldn't burn I'll take that off, and we're going to take a piece of foil. Well, I always like to put a little bit on the bottom. These recipes are so user-friendly. You can't mess this up. It's just, this would be great, too, with a nice bottle of red Bordeaux or any kind of your favorite wine. And don't forget the ends either, because they need a little love and attention on the side. Oh, this is like heaven. And then, because we have all this cheese, and you could do, I don't know if I told you what I have in here, but I have a little bit of Parmesan, mozzarella, and provolone that we used inside our burger bomb. And this, you can put some in between if you want. Be a little decadent. I should have done this while it was opened up, but just kind of tuck it in there. And then we're going to close it up. And how many more minutes? We have about, 10 minutes left, 18 minutes. I'm going to wait a little bit because this should only take about 20 minutes in the oven. And when we come back, we're going to do a dessert that you probably never seen before, but it's fabulous. Very Italian. This will go well with our dinner tonight. So we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. Check out our burger bomb. And you can see how it's browned because I added a little olive oil to that. And it's getting all crispy. And now we're going to kind of gild the lily, if you will. We're going to put some of our pasta sauce right on the top. And we're going to warm this and serve it on the side as well. And remember, we have pasta inside, so you don't need to serve a side dish of pasta. But if you're like me, I always make extra pasta. And just a little, so it drips over the side. And a little more cheese. And this is going to brown up. This would be fabulous. So now you can see when I was suggesting different things, I was saying you could put something like use ground chicken, and I'm going to pop this back in for another 10 or 15 minutes. And you could do ground chicken mix with Greek herbs. Ooh, that's hot. And do a chicken Alfredo with sauteed mushrooms and a small pasta like ditalini or so. Or you could do orzo, would be fabulous. And instead of the red sauce with the pasta, the spaghetti, you could, when you cut into this, you'd have that whole Alfredo filling with your chicken and mushrooms and do the little extra Alfredo on the sauce. And if you're doing Greek, put a little feta cheese on the top. It would be wonderful, and that browns beautifully. Or you could do a Mexican one. I mean, have fun with it. Do taco seasoning in your meat mixture and do a taco rice inside. And spice it up as much as you want. Do roast some jalapenos on the outside. And instead of breadcrumbs, you could do crumbled tortilla chips inside as a binder with the egg and the milk. So that just gets you going with all the different possibilities, and get your children involved, have them pick their favorites and put it all in one dish and a burger bomb. Boom, you'll be a hero. And that's what it's all about. So we're going to set this aside. We're going to do dessert. Now, do you like cannolis? Because this is kind of with the Italian sausage. It spoke to me of being kind of Italian-esque. And I thought, what's something better to have as a dessert than cannolis? So I have here, I'm going to show you this. I have some ricotta cheese. And by the way, thank you for asking. This is homemade ricotta. And if you want to know how to make it, you just go on our show previously. I think it was about maybe 2 years ago. Yogurt Yoga. And it'll show you how to make ricotta cheese. And I added, it's probably, I don't know, 2/3 of a cup of ricotta cheese. And I added 1 ounce or a good tablespoon of softened cream cheese to this. And I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla, not even a half a teaspoon, but just what we're looking for is the flavors of a cannoli filling. And not a lot of vanilla because you want to taste the flavors. that you would find in a cannoli. So we're going to mix that, about a good tablespoon of powdered sugar. And you don't want it too sweet. You could, if you want it creamier, you could add a little bit of whole cream, heavy cream to this. But I kind of like it dippable. And we're going to take this and put it in the bowl. Get your prettiest bowls. Put this out. And I just love dips. They're so versatile and everybody can do their own thing. Set that aside. And then we're going to top it. I have chunks of a good chocolate. You could do, this happens to be Belgian chocolate, or you could do chocolate chips. And you know how they usually put the mini ones in there? Well, I just want to shave this over the top and make a nice little topping. It looks fancy already. And then I'm going to take that out, and I can use the same one. I have some pistachios that have been shelled, of course. And this is also traditional, and I couldn't decide which one to make, so I did them both. And we're going to put a little bit of pistachio nuts on the side. And if you have anybody that has allergies, you want to make sure and tell them that there's pistachios in there. And I put a little on the top and on the sides. And then I'm going to show you how I did. See these little chips? Oh, we'll put this here. That's our little spreader. And these chips I made, you know what this is? It's a waffle cone. Not the flat bottom sugar cones. It's like a little heavier version of a ice cream cone. And I'm going to put it in the microwave for about 13 seconds. Let's do that. Cook time 13. And you could get the Pizzelli little dipping chips if you want. But I mean, I love these, and they're easily, sometimes you can't find those, and they're a little pricey. This is a great thing to substitute for that. So give it a try. Trying new things is really a good thing. So let's see. Now look at this, how soft it is. And you just open this up and let it set for about, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. And then you just break it up into little pieces. And that is not hard to do. And they taste so good. And you can do any kind of filling. You could do a little bourbon in here. But the traditional one with the vanilla is really good. And then you just take them and they get really crispy. And you just break off little pieces. And the kids would love to do this. I mean, it's so fun to do. But how easy is that? And you don't have to bake anything. You do a whole bunch of them in the microwave and break them up. And you bring this to a party or a girls' night or a game night, and you'll be the talk of the tree. This is a great way to go for dessert. That is our cannoli dip with ice cream cone dippers. So you can just call them waffle dippers, and they'll never know the difference. Fabulous way to do a dessert. Or anytime you have a sweet dip and you want something to dip it in, sometimes crackers can be a little off-putting, or some bread, plain bread slices. This will bump it up another level, so you give this a try. Our burger bomb is almost done with our topping of some sauce and some cheese. And we're going to serve it up, and wait until you see when we cut into it. It's fabulous. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. Check this out. This is our burger bomb, glazed with our beautiful sauce and some cheese, and it's bubbling. And we're going to slice that in a minute. I'm just going to give it a minute or so to settle. And this is our garlic bread. And I forgot to tell you to spray your aluminum foil before you put it in. And I'm just going to put a little bit of chives just for a little greenery and dress it up a little. But that is right out of the oven. About 15 minutes, the same time that you're cooking the burger bomb. We have our warm sauce to serve it. And I think I'm going to do the very chefy thing and place some of the sauce on the bottom in a big pool. Like I said, if you have extra pasta, but remember, you could serve that, or we have pasta in here. And I'm going to slice this right through. Look at how moist and tender this is, and steaming hot. Nice, generous piece. Make sure you cut all the way through and get underneath. And are you ready? This is our burger bomb. Look at inside here. The cheese, the pasta, the sauce. It's like a little hidden treasure. And there is our inside of our burger bomb. That is amazing. You're gonna be the talk of the tree when you do this. But it's all about the drama of serving it. And get yourself a cast iron pan. It really is so homey, and look at how it's cooked all the way through, and just the perfect doneness. 400 degrees, 30 minutes, 10 more minutes is our timer. 10 more minutes with the sauce and the cheese, your garlic bread that cooks at the same time with crusty and cheesy, and our beautiful ricotta dip that you can have at your leisure with a glass of wine. This is homemade at its best, and fun and fast and fabulous. So I want to thank you all for joining me today to share these recipes. Thank you again for all your tips and suggestions and comments. It's just wonderful. So thank you for being a part of my world. Thank you for watching, and may the fork be with you.